Earlier this week we learned that a mole within the CIA was feeding the names of US intel assets to the government of China, and that it resulted in the murders of at least 20 such assets. Now it turns out that same treasonous plot also resulted in Russia learning the names of US assets, and it may have ended up playing a role in the Trump-Russia scandal. Earlier this week the House Intelligence Committee released Trump-Russia dossier transcripts which confirmed what Palmer Report and others have long pointed out. After the dossier became public, the Kremlin began murdering people within its own ranks whom it believed were US assets. That raised the question of how Russia could have known the identifiers of these assets to begin with. Now we may have that answer. It turns out that when the CIA mole was feeding the names of US assets to the government of China, it was turning around and handing that information over to the government of Russia, according to a new NBC News report link. This raises the question of whether the entire thing might have been a Russian op to begin with. This was primarily taking place in 2012, right around the time Russia began seriously targeting and grooming Donald Trump. It allegedly arranged the PP tape incident in 2013. So now the big question is whether the US assets murdered by Russia in 2017 were revealed to the Kremlin back in 2012. It's feasible the Kremlin could have sat on the information during that stretch, instead preferring to feed those assets bad information rather than simply ing them on the spot. There's a lot more investigating that needs to be done on this front. But, as is so often the case these days, the CIA-China scandal has turned out to be a Russia scandal after all, and it may involve Donald Trump as well. Keep up to date with the latest Palmer Report articles via email. Get the latest content first. Email address update preference as new articles are added daily. Subscribe now. We respect your privacy.